Thanks everybody, good to be here again. Thanks Phil for having us back. I've presented up here many times, but never for Allup. We will, as we mentioned, we're transitioning to heavy mineral sands, focusing on the McLaren project. Subject to shareholder approval, we will be changing our name to McLaren Minerals on the 29th of November or shortly thereafter. That's not me. Although I wouldn't mind having a horse owned by Godolphin. Okay, here we go. We've already bunched through the disclaimer. I might go back one so you can look at that magnificent slide. Right, we're moving on. Disclaimer, please read that at your leisure. Corporate snapshot. We acquired this project on the 5th of August. I joined the company on the 15th of August and we've hit the ground running. We've started the pre-feasibility study. We're bringing the team together. Peter Secker joined the company at the same time as I. Share price low, and that of course is a value opportunity. Project is called McLaren Mineral Sands. It's a significant heavy mineral sands project in WA. We're all very happy to be in WA from a mining perspective. 280 million tonnes at 4.8%. Of that, we have 79 millions of indicated resource at 6% heavy mineral. This is an ilmenite project, primarily very small amounts of rutile, zircon, etc. Put together a new leadership team and we're positioning this company to develop the project and move into the market at exactly the right time. So we believe it's the right project, things the right time, and we're putting together the right team. Here's the project itself. As I said, it's in Western Australia. It's about 350 k's as the crow flies north of Esperance, 420 kilometres by road, which is where the final products more than likely end up. We will produce a magnetic concentrate, which is largely an ilmenite concentrate made up of ilmenite and iron, basically. And we'll produce a non-magnetic concentrate, which has the higher value zircon, rutile, ilmenite, or leucoxene type products in it. And we believe there's probably a market for that in Western Australia. The magnetic concentrate more than likely ends up in China. This is a very good location. Got two large tenements, split really by the air highway. We've got Balladonia 40 kilometres to the east, so we have an airstrip, we have a hotel, we have a pub, of course, very important. Very hot, dry summer. And this project is just a very straightforward project, very good geometry, so it's a deep project. Anywhere between 15 and 35 metres, virtually no overburden, significant land holding upside, and we think there's upside, to the north and east and to the south and west. We've currently planned a drilling program waiting to get on the ground, and we're planning to drill this out, and we're planning for that to be a 200 million tonne indicated resource, which gives us the ability to mine at 10 million tonnes a year for 20 years. So it's all very simple. All very straightforward, but it's a sulphate ilmenite project. And sulphate ilmenite used to be the worst thing you could get in the mineral sands industry, but of course the world's changed, and I'll talk about the market a little bit later. A bit more information about the resource itself. You can see the high-grade indicated portion in the middle, in that green square. So there's 80 million tonnes in there. You can see the high-grade continues out here to the east. Some of that is not included in the resource, and we believe there's potential, as I said, out here to the north and down here to the south. You can see there's holes here. The mineralogy continues, but none of that is drilled out to any sort of definition. We'll obviously start drilling in the middle of that. We really want to turn this into an indicated resource so we can turn that indicated portion of the resource into reserve in due course. We'll also drill some extensional holes, but really kind of focus on the PFS process, and we really want to turn this into a project that we can develop. That'll be the main mining tool. You can see there, that's a dry mining unit. Pretty much that's how we'll use it. You push the sand into the hopper with a bulldozer, you slurry it up and you pump it to your plant. So it's the simplest thing you can do. It's the cheapest way to mine sand apart from a dredge. You need a lot of water. To have a dredge, you need a water table. We haven't got one, so we're going with a dry mining unit. But this is a very efficient way to do it. As I said, no overburden, thick free-flowing sand, so this pushes into the hopper very, very easily. Key focus areas of the project, of course, test work to make sure we can manage the slimes, test work to make sure we can separate this mineral, but the previous test work has already shown that this works extremely well. And the reason I like this project is it is quite simple. People can be cruel about my name when they say it's a simple project, but this is the sort of project that a small company should get involved with. It'll be a modest capital, it'll be a mid-sized project. It should be very economically viable, but it's certainly something that we can mine, we can develop, and we can fund. So as I said, we've moved very quickly into this project. We acquired the project very early August. I joined, as I said, middle of August. We started the engineering study. We've appointed IHC Mining, one of the experts in the field, to carry out the engineering. We've commenced offtake discussions. One of the things I've been luckily exposed to over my time in other companies is I have really good contacts in China. We started talking to them about offtake. Obviously, they're very early days and they need to see a lot more work done, but certainly there's demand. We've signed a new heritage agreement yesterday. We made the decision to not to use the existing agreement, which was signed in 2012. We preferred to start off on the right foot with our stakeholders, and we signed a brand new agreement. The native title parties are happy with us, and they will sign in the next few days, and then we'll be starting to look at heritage clearance surveys for the drilling program. We're hoping to start very, very soon. Transfer of the tenements is underway. We paid the stamp duty on the transaction 2 weeks ago, so now it's procedural, and everything else will happen thereafter. Talking about the market, sulphate, there's pretty much two streams in the mineral sands market, sulphate ilmenite and chloride ilmenite. They go into the separate processes, the chloride pigment process and the sulphate pigment process. The sulphate pigment process in general is dominated in China, and there is there's a shortage of sulphate ilmenite. The other things that have changed is that there's less rutile being produced in the world nowadays, so one of the primary feedstocks now for the chloride pigment process is chloride slag. Chloride slag is created really by putting sulphate ilmenite into a smelter. You smelt it, you tap the iron, and then you tap the the chloride slag, then that goes into the chloride pigment process. So we're seeing strong demand for sulphate ilmenite, both as a raw feedstock for the sulphate pigment process, but also as a feedstock into smelters for the chloride slag program. So we're seeing this as a very good opportunity. A little bit more about the market. Our friends at CM Group put these charts together for me. You can see that year-on-year growth in China in particular, in the pigment industry, obviously replicated in the prices we're seeing. When I was in Africa 10 years or so ago, Grand Côte, we were selling our sulphate ilmenite for US $75 a tonne. Current price is around about $300 a tonne. So the market has completely changed in the last 10 years. So moving into the killer stroke, the last slide. We believe we've got a great position here in the market. We've got a project we can develop in WA. We think it'll be modest in capital. We think the development timeline is relatively short. We've got a pathway to development that we can see quite clearly, and there is significant growth potential for this project itself. And we put in place a team that we think can build the project. So we'll develop it properly, and we'll do it as quickly as possible. And I think there's two ways, if you like this project, there's two ways you can look at it from an investment proposition. If you want to buy now and you're happy with the risk, you should believe in the project, the team and the market. I'm happy to talk you through all that at the booth whenever you're ready. And if you do that, then I believe you'll be rewarded. If you leave it till next year when I'm up here talking about the pre-feasibility study and all the numbers are coming out and you can see how wonderful it is, you can buy it then. I'm quite happy with that, but you'll be paying 20 cents a share. We're currently running an entitlement offer, 1 for 2 pro rata, raised $1.6 million. That'll get us through the pre-fees and various other bits and pieces. That ends on the 22nd of November. If there's any shortfall, we'll place that through our contacts and we'll be moving through this business very quickly. That's it from me. Minute left. Everyone should thank me. Cheers.